Every year, Jeep holds court in Moab, Utah, and thousands of fans of the brand flock to this off-road mecca to celebrate. The event is called the Easter Jeep Safari. The automaker typically uses this event to show off new models or some cool concepts. This year is no different, as Jeep trotted out a handful of cool machines, hopefully some of which find a production version in the near future. First up, we have the Jeep Magneto. Now, you've probably seen variations of this one before. This time it's Magneto 3.0. Jeep started down the Magneto path back in 2021, and now the engineers say they've learned what they can, which means a fully EV Wrangler version can't be too far off. Magneto 3.0 is a monster. In the standard drive mode, output is set at 285 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. That's not the crazy bit. In the max power setting, you have 650 horsepower and 900 pound-feet of torque. And somehow, all of that power is routed through a 6-speed manual gearbox. It's capable too, thanks to the Dynatrac 60 front axles, Dynatrac 80 rears, 20-inch beadlocks, and 40-inch mud terrain tires. Next is a concept that pays homage to the grandfather of the Gladiator, the Jeep Scrambler 392 concept. This one packs a punch with its 392 V8 under the hood, which doles out 470 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. The concept started life as a 4-door Wrangler Rubicon before being reworked into a 2-door compact pickup truck. It's more than a body job though, as Jeep have fitted it with an AccuAir suspension system, so you can dial in a lift that ranges from 1.5 inches to 5.5 inches. And you can do it on the fly from in the cab or outside the vehicle with a wireless controller. This one too gets 20-inch wheels wearing 40-inch tires, so it can roll over anything while also shouting out loud with that mighty V8 under the hood. Kicking it more old school, we have an awesome resto mod style build. Jeep started with a 1978 Cherokee and then completely updated it under the skin. It's running on a 4xe powertrain, so this is a plug-in hybrid. Jeep bought the body off Craigslist, cleaned it up, modified it, and then set it atop a Rubicon 4xe chassis. The 37-inch tires on the 17-inch old school cool wheels complete the look, and this might just be the best of the bunch to drive on a daily basis. Next, we have the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 4xe concept, which wears the limited edition Tuscadero paint color. This Wrangler gets touches from the 20th anniversary model, including a ton of upgraded off-road bits from AEV. This is one that you might see on sale sooner rather than later, if I had to guess. Jumping up in size, we have the Grand Wagoneer Overland concept. This is my favorite concept of the bunch, minus one bit I'll touch on shortly. For this one, Jeep takes its Grand Wagoneer and makes great use of the new 3-liter Hurricane twin-turbo engine. That would be the 510 horsepower and 500 pound-foot of torque having mill mounted in the nose of this thing. Then Jeep adds in upgrades to improve the off-road capability. This requires opening up the wheel openings a bit to fit 35-inch tires. There's a 1.5-inch lift with the wheel and tire setup, so that improves ground clearance and breakover. Up front, there's a worn winch, and you have extra lighting as well. But the big piece you'll notice sits on the roof. That would be the rather amazing Red Tail Overland Skyloft roof tent. It's a wild addition to the truck, and it's built from carbon fiber. You can access it from inside the Jeep as the rear sunroof has been moved to create an entrance into the tent. And this tent is actually climate controlled with heat and cooling functionality. It's an insane bit of kit with an equally wild price tag. That rooftop tent is somewhere around 30 grand. And that's my only issue with this one, which I mentioned at the beginning of this segment. It's super cool to see on a concept, but for $30,000, what are we doing here? A Go Fast would work great on top of this thing. I get it that Red Tail is essentially the Earth Roamer of the rooftop tent space, and it's an ultra luxury product. But that number just makes my head swim. Moving on, we have the Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 4xe Departure concept. This one serves as a test bed for Jeep performance parts offered up by the Mopar division. There's a cool brush guard that serves as a bench if you want. The rear spare storage system tucks the tire up more tightly and improves the departure angle of the vehicle. This concept looks pretty great in its dark harbor blue paint with its brown hued interior, and it looks to be an awesome test rig for some cool parts. Finally, we have the Jeep Gladiator Rubicon Sideburn concept. There's a JPP 2-inch lift kit that works with a set of Bilstein shocks. HRE 17 by 9-inch wheels sit at each corner, wrapped in 37-inch BFG tires. Then you have a handful more parts from the JPP catalog, or even parts that are being tested and in the prototype stage, similar to the Wrangler concept before it. It's a fun rig that's ready to go wheeling, and that's what the Easter Jeep Safari is all about. This is the proper time and place for Jeep to tease some future product, toss out wild ideas, and show off fresh upgrades that Jeep owners can apply to their own vehicles. There's a JPP 2-inch lift kit that works with a set of Bilstein stocks. There's a JPP 2-inch lift kit that works with a set of Bilstein shocks. There's a